Hey, what's going on everybody? Andy Clements here from Bodies by Moose, and today we have a little question to cover sent in by Amir. And today Amir wants to know how to approach his evening nutrition. So what kind of foods should he be eating? What kind of times should he be eating from, kind of 5, 6 p.m. onwards before he goes to bed? So there's a few different considerations we need to take into account here before we can give you a solid answer to this question. The first one is, what's the overall goal? So if the overall goal is to get bigger and increase scale weight, then we need to take that into consideration, because our evening nutrition will reflect a higher amount of food than if we wanted to reduce scale weight and get leaner as opposed to putting on weight. So that's the first thing we need to take into consideration, and as part of that, as kind of a shoot off of that, we need to take very carefully into consideration adherence to that goal. So this is especially, but it's important for both, getting bigger and getting leaner, but it's especially important to getting leaner in a fat loss orientated goal. Now, if you're looking to try and reduce body fat and lose scale weight, then you're going to need to be in what's called a calorie deficit. So a calorie deficit essentially just means burning off more calories than you consume. So you're going to be eating less than somebody who's trying to gain weight. This is just obvious, it's just logic, right? Now the problem comes when we're looking at evening nutrition on a fat loss diet is when we look at the actual logistics of what your evenings look like. So for most people, they'll finish work at about 5 o'clock and they'll be one of two things, either stressed or tired, or both. Now, you are most likely to mess up your fat loss diet when you are either stressed or tired. Okay, so what we need to do, if that's what your evenings look like, if you get in from having a long day at work, you go to the gym and you just sit down in front of the TV and you're both stressed and tired, you need to plan ahead for that. So you may need to save some calories from earlier in the day. So for me, when I know I've got a busy day ahead and I know that I'm gonna need to give myself a little bit more flexibility when I get in, because sometimes I'll get in at 8, 9 o'clock at night and I'm just ravenous, right? I just know I'm not going to have a chance to eat for 6 hours because I'm back to back with clients or whatever. Then I'm going to need to plan ahead for that. So sometimes I'll fast until 12 p.m. So that has some other benefits for gut health and stuff like that, which I can go into in another video. But sometimes I'll fast on a rest day, and sometimes I'll just take some food out of the 3 or 4 meals that I get a chance to eat before that, and that will save of the overall goal. I may be eating 2,500, 2,800 calories a day. Of that, I might save 1,000 calories for the 3 to 4 hours before I go to bed. So I have chance to feed like I normally would, but I'm not doing it to the extent where I'm derailing myself from the overall goal, if that makes sense. So the only other consideration that I would take into account when it comes to your evening nutrition, other than adherence and preparation, so always make sure you've got something prepped, when you're approaching your evening nutrition. The only other thing that I would take into consideration is sleep. Now, sleep is the most important thing you can get right when it comes to optimizing your health. I look at sleep with my clients before I look at their nutrition and before I look at their training. I want to make sure that they're sleeping right, because if you're sleeping right, you're starting every day right, and you're going to have a downhill battle rather than an uphill battle when it comes to your nutrition and your training. So the negative impact that your evening nutrition can have on sleep can be massive if you don't get it right. If you just get in and you start drinking, you start eating stuff, junk food, then you can cause inflammation in the gut, which can then cause inflammation in the brain, which is then going to disrupt your sleep cycles. You might find yourself waking up in the night, going to the toilet in the night. And we need to make sure that our sleep is uninterrupted and as high a quality for as good a duration as we possibly can. Anything that we eat or drink that detracts from that is not what we want to be doing. So try and avoid food that's inflammatory. Try and avoid junk food, essentially, in the 2 to 3 hours before you go to bed. And I would advise avoiding all food at least 1 hour before you go to bed. Because you don't want to have to let your body focus on digesting food while it's trying to focus on chilling out and going to sleep. You want your body to be at total rest, so you have as easier chance to fall asleep and stay asleep instead of having to give your body multiple things to do at once. I hope that made sense, and I will see you again for another question next time.